Hello everyone. A few years ago, I created a GDExtension tutorial series for Godot. Time passed and a lot has been changed since then. And now I'm back with a brand new series. This time around, I want to approach GDExtension development differently. We now have a bunch of new features in GDExtension that I did not cover before. So what is new in this series? This time I'll be using cmake instead of scans to build the GDExtension project. Fortunately, the latest Godot CPP binding now fully supports cmake. I'm not saying scan is bad, but cmake is much more commonly used in C++ projects. So if you want to integrate external C++ library, which often use cmake, this makes your life a lot easier. Also, I will covering topics I missed last time, like how to debug your GDExtension code, proper error handling, using thread, template, and much more. So now let's talk why use GDExtension with C++. There are several good reasons. First of all, performance. C++ is much faster than GDScript, especially for complex logic or heavy computation. Second is, there are a ton of powerful C++ library out there that you can plug right into your Godot project. Also, C++ is better for large projects. C++ is more robust and scalable than GDScript for big or complex systems. Of course, there are a few challenges. One of them is the build time. Every time you change your code, you need to recompile the GDExtension. That can take some time. Also, to get started, you need a C++ compiler, set up your environment, configure cmake, and more. I understand these can be frustrating, but that's exactly why I am making this series. I will walk through everything, how to set up your project, how to debug it, and how to keep everything organized. Once you get past this setup, the rest becomes much easier. So now let's see what is a GDExtension really. Let me explain a little bit just for background. This part is a bit technical, but don't worry, you don't need to fully understand it to follow the rest of this tutorial. GDExtension is simply a shared library file that Godot loads at runtime. In general, shared library work in two ways. Compile time linking, which you include the library when you compile your program. And other one is runtime linking. You load the library manually in your code using function like dlopen. Here is a simple example. Let's say I have a C++ file with a function called hello that just print hello world. I use extern C to prevent name mangling. C++ usually change the name of the function, but C language does not do that. So defining this function under extern C will treat this function as a C function, and this will cause that the name of the function remain the same after compiling in the compile binary file. So I compile this into a shared library. Then in my program, I use dlopen to load the shared library at runtime. I use dlsim to find the hello world function. I put it inside my function pointer and then I just call the function. So how this connect to the GDExtension? Godot does something similar. When you build your GDExtension shared library, you define an entry point function using extern C. Godot call this function when it loads the GDExtension library. From there, your code call an initialize example module function where you register all of your custom Godot classes, which you made inside this shared library, and you register them into the Godot system. By registering these classes, you are telling Godot how to create them, what function they have, and what property they have, and many other things. And you can treat these classes just like a built-in Godot classes. And basically this is how it works. GDExtension also make it possible from your shared library to call some internal function inside Godot executable. Here in GDExtension folder, you can see we have an extension APR.json file. Inside this JSON file, there is a list of all functions we can call on the main Godot executable. For example, under the node class section, we have two functions, setName and getName. This information here just describe what input this function will receive and what output they return and other property of that function, like if they are virtual or const. Based on this information, when we build the GDExtension library, the node class CPP file and header file is automatically generated with a Python script for us. Here is a generated file for that. You can see the function that define how we can call setName and getName on the main Godot executable. This function is generated based on the extension API.json file. Now there is an important point. Calling a function on the main Godot executable can be slower. It is not extremely slow, but sometimes it is better to write the code directly inside the GDExtension library. This is why for some other classes, the entire class is written in the library itself. For example, if you go inside go.cpp and check the variant include, you can see the code for the vector3 class. All math operations for the vector3 class are defined here. As an example, if you want to multiply two vectors together, we don't call a function on the main Godot executable. We just do it here, which is much faster. And that is it for this introduction. In the next video, I will show you how to install cmake and require tools on Linux, Windows, and macOS. If you have any question, drop it in comment below. And until the next time, have a great time. Bye.